Hey, what's going on, people? This is Howard Tenchi, and I am back for another TMNT Rant Rave review for this week's episode entitled The Good, the Bad, and Casey Jones. So this is the first new episode of 2014, and I have to say, it's a pretty good one. It starts out with Casey having an inner monologue and writing in a journal about what he's seen and encountered ever, having to do with the mutants and everything else, and he realizes that, he was meant for something. He was meant for something bigger. He wants to protect people. He wants to go out on the street and help clean the streets up. So what does he do? Puts together a costume, has a nice little training montage, and goes out on patrol. While this is going on, you got the Turtles going through another training exercise, a free-for-all, last turtle standing, right? And it goes down to Raphael and Leonardo, but Leonardo gets the drop on Raphael, and Raphael doesn't really take this well, and you see him black out for a minute, like his eyes go completely white, and he pummels Leonardo kind of like a freight train. Like he goes in. I'm like, whoa, okay. So it's really it's the subplot is centered around Raphael trying to control his anger, because anger is a dangerous ally, and you can't let it rule you no matter what. You have to learn how to control it. So he goes up to the surface, try to clear his head, and while this is going on, he sees Casey Jones trying to stop the Purple Dragon from assaulting the shop owner, and he goes a little overboard. He gets a drop on two other guys, and they get up and they're like, okay, we give up, man, we give up. He's like, I'm not done with you guys yet. And while he's about to hit one of the dudes with the big hockey stick, Raphael intervenes, and next thing you know, they get into a fight. So that's pretty interesting because it lasts a few seconds, but it's still a good and well made out fight. So that was their introduction, kind of similar to the movies. Instead of purse snatching, we have the Purple Dragons assaulting the shop owner, and almost threatening to cut him up if he doesn't give them their money. And that is the introduction that I wanted from before. I was a little taken aback that when Casey Jones was first introduced in the beginning of season 2, that April met him first, but she met Casey Jones the kid, Casey Jones the student, Casey Jones the knucklehead. This time, but when Raphael meets him, he meets the masked little kid Vigilante that's just starting out. So this is actually a pretty cool introduction. Big ups to the writers for that. So while this is going on, now Casey, and Raph, they're on each other's radar. Raph is still trying to control his anger. He apologizes to his brothers, but they get on his nerves again because it doesn't take that much for them to push his buttons, and he goes up to the surface again, goes up to the rooftop, tries to clear his head. Another thing that's kind of similar to the movie, because he is on a rooftop and just doing some training, and next thing you know, Casey Jones sees him again and ends up following him. So while he's angry, he doesn't really take any precautions, because not only does Casey Jones follow him, but now Casey is getting tailed by Foot Ninja, and the Foot Ninja find out where the lair is. So you have everybody, including April, because she's training to be a Konoichi. You got April, you got everybody there, in the middle of a fight with the Foot Clan in the lair. So that was cool to see, but at the same time I was like, okay, now they gotta move because because now the Foot Clan know where they are. But no, it was just one Foot Ninja scanning the area and getting the location stored in his memory, while the other ones were pretty much there to just start a fight. Right, so here we go. We got a chase going on. We got Raphael, we got Casey Jones chasing down this one Foot Ninja that has the data stored, while they're also fighting other Foot Ninja. And at one point they end up on top of a train. I'm like, okay, this is kind of dangerous because at this point Casey Jones is still like a 16-year-old kid. But this is the life he's chosen, so of course he's going to get into more and more trouble. But Raph had his back. He had Raph's back, and and Raph had his back. Even though at this point they're just learning how to get along and how to work together, they still had each other's back. So everyone else is fighting in the lair. You know what I'm saying? We see Splinter get into it. We even see April. Get into the fight. So that was cool to see. Now that we have Casey Jones as an ally, this can just go up from here. It can just go up from here. And they introduced Irma. They introduced Irma in the early part of the episode, shortly after Casey went on patrol and encountered Raph. So, but instead of her being the timid, quiet, cute but dorky girlfriend of April, she is more of the get up in your face and ask you questions type. You know what I'm saying? She's the type that obviously loves school, takes it really seriously, and gets in Casey's face about where he was the night before, because he comes in looking like hell. And it's kind of it's a nice switch with that. But they just introduce her like she's right next to April. They're waiting. They take their trigonometry exam. They're out in the hallway while they're talking to Casey, and the next thing you know, Casey says her name. What are you, Irma? My interrogator, right? I'm like, that's Irma? That was a little surprising. I like the look, personally. But anyway, as far as this episode goes, I think this is a nice way to start off the new year, as far as the show. And I love the introduction between him and, the little powwow between him and Raphael. They are seriously kindred spirits, and so much so that Donatello even says, oh great, you know what this means, right? There are two Raphaels. Funny. Hilarious. So what do you guys think of this episode? What do you think of Casey Jones' costume? What do you think of the two major fight scenes in this? What do you think of the Foot Clan almost finding out where the turtles live? And what do you think of Irma? It was a short little introduction, but what do you think of this character? Do you think she's going to end up being like a big part of it, or do you think they're just going to keep her in the background? I don't think they're going to keep her in the background, but that's just me. Anyway, comment below, let me know, and I will see you on the next review. Peace, love, and never be normal.